Hey guys, how you doing today? This is David Lucas back here again. Welcome back to my channel. Let's get loony. What's up guys, thank you for coming back to my channel. This is David Lucas over here guys. And now in today's review, I'm going to basically be reviewing, if you guys can't tell already by the wardrobe I'm wearing. Yes guys, it's finally time to review Space Jam 2: A New Legacy. Yeah, guys, Space Jam 2: A New Legacy. If you guys remember, it was on my most anticipated list. Either on my most anticipated or my honorable ones, one of the two. But Space Jam, if you guys already know, just a real recap, that Space Jam is probably one of my very most nostalgic type of films. It's not like my favorite films ever. No, it's not one of the best films, but to me it's a good nostalgic trip film. You know, growing up I've always watched the Space Jam VHS and DVD. I had both the VHS and DVD, both on reruns all the time as a kid, just constantly rewatching it, play with my toys and acting it out, and Space Jam was always a big part of my life growing up. And yeah, growing up, I realized this first Space Jam isn't some masterpiece of type of film, no. But it's a good nostalgic joy feel that you can rewatch all the time and still feel a lot of heart, a lot of passion, a lot of just good feelings while watching the first Space Jam. Now that being said, let's get on to its sequel, Space Jam: A New Legacy. Yeah guys, so Space Jam: A New Legacy, it just came out on HBO Max and in theaters. You can go check it out. I actually ended up watching on HBO Max on this one. There's certain movies I'm going to go see in theaters, certain movies I'll probably just end up seeing on HBO Max. That's probably what I'm going to be doing now. This ended up being one of the HBO Max watches. And before I get into the big review, make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate all your support all the time. It really helps me out. It helps this channel grow out all the time. So if you just give this video a like and subscribe to my channel, I really appreciate that. Now basically, if you guys remember the first Space Jam, the first plot of the first Space Jam was basically that the Looney Tunes got themselves in trouble and they got themselves caught into a big basketball game against this alien overlord, I think is basically what it is. And the Looney Tunes, basically in desperation, kidnapped Michael Jordan, who was at the time the biggest basketball player of all time. Still is, I would consider Michael Jordan probably the best of all time. And they grab him and they kidnap him basically, and basically have him play this basketball game with them. So they win, so they end up becoming slaves to this alien overlord. And Michael Jordan also too, makes a deal that if he loses, he has to become a slave to them too. Now, the basic whole plot of Space Jam 2: A New Legacy is that LeBron James is basically a parent that is really controlling over his son. He's kind of pushing his son to do a career his son doesn't necessarily want to do. And in this, they end up getting invited to this meeting at Warner Brothers, another product placement for this, and that is for an AI, and that is for some AI movie that they want him to do. And there's this AI computer who's being played by Don Cheadle, who gets angry that LeBron James doesn't like his ideas and ends up kidnapping his son. So now LeBron James has to play a basketball game with the Looney Tunes to basically save his son. And that is basically the whole plot of it in a nutshell. Now, you guys know my reviews, I usually start with the good and to the bad. So let's do this. Let's get into the review and get on to the good about this movie. First off, let me say right off the bat, one thing that I do have to give this movie credit for, and is what I just mentioned in the plot synopsis for it, is that I did actually really appreciate that they tried to do something different with this time. They didn't just copy off what the last one did. They didn't just copy off the beats and the notes of the last one. They really did it. They actually took this and kind of did something different with it, while at the same time still respecting the old one, like not like Son of the Mask, where the Son of the Mask completely just regards anything and destroys anything the first Mask did. This one doesn't. This one doesn't regard the stuff of the last one. They mentioned some stuff from the last one, so they still respect the last one while still doing a new story with this one. And that's something I gotta give them credit for. I like in this one too, how where they show us basically the whole worlds of Warner Brothers in a way. We were seeing everything. We're seeing the Harry Potter universe, the DC universe we see a couple times, which if you guys are big DC fans, you notice they wasn't exactly, but it seemed like they were modeling a little bit after Bruce Timm's story. So I I really like Bruce Timm's style, and it seems like they're modeling their DC characters off of that, so I really appreciate that. And, you know, during the basketball game itself, we're seeing, all the audience is filled of different characters from movies. You know, we see Penguins, we see Mask, we see a whole bunch of Jokers, we see Pennywise. They got a whole bunch of them, you know, and that's something cool that I gotta say about this movie I did. It was really cool, and kind of got your nostalgic feeling in this, you know, with this movie of kind of seeing all those Warner Brothers stuff and all those Warner Brothers properties and them jumping from world to world of different Warner Brothers worlds. I don't know. To me, I really liked that. I thought that was really good, and that's a really nice touch to it. The Looney Tunes, too. The Looney Tunes were pretty great in here. To me, they were great. And same thing with Lola Bunny. And I know a lot of people weren't liking Zendaya cast as Lola Bunny. You know, I was fine with it. I would have preferred that they went with an actual, you know, voice actress for the role. I still, at the end of the day, would have preferred that. But I still think she did all right. She wasn't bad, really, at all. I mean, yeah, it was a little bit noticeable that was Zendaya's voice. But still, to me, at least, to me, it fit the kind of voice, fit the body, fit the voice to me. I thought she did pretty good. Still would have probably preferred a professional voice actress for the role, but I think she did good along with all the other Looney Tunes. And now that's pretty much it, what I can say of what I liked about this movie. Pretty much as far as it goes of how much I liked it. And now, let's get into the negatives on this movie. Let's get into some of the stuff I didn't really agree with or didn't really like about this movie. Now, right off the bat, one thing I gotta say that is very noticeable, and it's something that you're gonna realize right off the bat, is that LeBron James's acting is horrible. Okay, now I'm not trying to say that Michael Jordan was a fantastic actor and he was a brilliant actor in the first Space Jam. No, he wasn't that good, but at the same time, he was watchable. You actually felt like, okay, he's actually trying to do something. He's actually trying to act and, you know, react to stuff a certain way. But with LeBron James, it's honestly kind of embarrassing. And it's really, I don't really mean it by any disrespect. I love LeBron, but I feel it was really kind of some scenes where you probably would be looking back like, I don't know if I should have made that face. Because there were certain scenes where you'd make these weird faces that I'm just like, what? Like, it looks like he's trying to maybe mix with the Looney Tunes face, but it just doesn't fit on him. And his acting, too, just when he's, like, saying certain lines, it's very unbelievable. Really, the only, like, lines that he is somewhat believable in, I feel like, is when he's talking to his son and is giving him some advice or something like that. Other than that, when he's talking or trying to do some kind of facial expressions, it's almost embarrassing to watch because it's not good at all. LeBron, I'm sorry, man. You're a fantastic basketball player, but you cannot act, buddy. First act, too, I realize is really slow. Like, it is a really slow startup, I feel like. I feel like it's kind of slow going into just the whole game and plot of the movie. I feel like it takes some time, and by the time it's already there, you're already kind of looking at your watch like, alright, shouldn't we have already maybe gotten here by now? And as it's going on, it feels like it just kind of zoots by really fast with most of the stuff, like with the training and all of that. It kind of feels like it glosses over a lot of that stuff because it has a very slow start, I feel like. One thing, too, that I gotta point out, what I was mentioning a little bit earlier, is that even though I did like, you know, seeing all those Warner Brothers properties and all that, something that I realized after my second viewing of watching this is that with all that nostalgia stuff, you forget and completely don't even pay attention to the game itself. Like, I found myself, even especially the first time and to the second time, not really caring about what's going on in the game, and I'm more trying to point out, oh, there's that character, oh, there's that character, oh, there's that person from that movie, oh, there's that, oh, where is he, oh, there he is, I saw him again. You know, for both of the times I watched it, I found myself more interested in finding those characters rather than the actual movie itself or the game itself. I more care about what characters you can see and pick out, and that's what this movie becomes at the end of the day. It's just something that you just look at and are like, oh, yeah, there's that person. Oh, there's that person. You know, that's just what it turns into. Now, something final, too, that I gotta cover on here that is just really bad, and it's something that was a big letdown for me, because in the first Space Jam, The one thing that I really loved a lot was the Monstars. The Monstars were great. They had a really dope, cool design to them. They all each had different colors to them. They all have their own personalities too that I love. You know, the purple one had his personality, the green one had his own personality, the leader guy had his, and then you had that really tall idiot one, and then you had that small goofy one. You know, they all had their personalities, their own different traits, their own colors, their own sizes and shapes to them. Now on to these villains, and with especially the main villain, what is it, LG or something, that his name? LG? Yeah, LG, that's his name. Villain team, what are they called? The Goon Squad or something? Yeah, none of them are good. None of them are memorable. None of them have any memorable quips or memorable features or anything about them. I think one of the villain teams on the Goon Squad can have fire and water, and one's a bird, I think, and another one's like a metal version of LeBron James, I'm pretty sure. They're basically, I mean, the concept is cool, you know, that they are designs that his son created with his son's video game. Was part of the plot, as his son loves making video games, and these designs are designs that his son made, so it's kind of cool, you know, but I don't know, it was cool concept, but then when you actually get into the characters, I can't tell you any one of those characters have any personalities. None of them had personalities. I mean, I get it, they are AI creatures or whatever, AI fake, you know, whatever. Then maybe you should have went with that kind of AI computer generated villains. You know, maybe you should actually went with the more organic villain. And none of these villains have any personalities. They have no quips to them. They have like certain things, like one has the power of fire, one looks like a bird and stuff like that, like I said. But other than that, that's really all you can do to describe these characters. None of them are memorable. None of them are memorable lines or anything. The main villain, the main, you know, control one, you know, it all, Don Cheadle, LG, I think his name is. I think they call him LG or LG. Him too, he's kind of like, I don't know, it kind of seems like Don Cheadle just is not trying at all. It almost seems like, I mean, I don't want to be mean, because Don Cheadle's a great actor. I love him as War Machine and all these other movies he's been in, but this movie in particular, I feel like he just was trying to have fun. And I think that's just what he was trying to do. He was just having fun and being goofy, and sometimes that works for stuff. But other times it doesn't really work, and it's really noticeable. And this time around, I feel like it was really noticeable, and he really didn't have, like, his whole motive, too, I feel like was just kind of lame. It was a really lame motive. Like, he's going after LeBron because LeBron said he didn't like his idea when he's a computer AI. I don't know. It is really weird. Doesn't make sense at all. And yeah, the villains in this movie are just horrible. Now that's pretty much my review of Space Jam: A New Legacy. Pretty much the way I think about Space Jam Legacy, that it did have some good to it. Looney Tunes are always great to see. The way how it shows the worlds of DC, and you're traveling through all these different worlds and seeing different properties of DC interacting with each other on screen. All of that was really great, but at the end of the day, the movie suffers from really bad acting, a very slow start, a really lackluster plot, and villains to go into this, and really, at the end of the day, pretty much Space Jam: A New Legacy is a kind of disappointment, I gotta say. I was hoping more. I was hoping to have at least a little bit more fun, at least with this movie. I wasn't expecting it to be, you know, a masterpiece or like anything up to the first Space Jam, because the first Space Jam wasn't a masterpiece. I was just hoping this to be fun, and to have fun, see cool villains, and to see the Looney Tunes, you know, back in action, no pun intended, but I just was kind of hoping for a little bit more of that, and we didn't really get much of that. I do appreciate that it did have, you know, a different plot, a more, you know, different plot that's not trying to copy off the other one and is still respecting the original. I like that, I respect that, but at the end of the day, this movie was just a was a disappointment. It really was. And I'm going to have to give Space Jam: A New Legacy a 4 out of 10. Yeah, guys, I'm going to have to give it a 4 out of 10. I really did not like this movie as much. It did have some stuff going to it, but I seen it 2 times for this review, and I think those are pretty much going to be the only 2 times I really watch this movie. I'm just going to stick with the first one, in my opinion. So let me know your guys' opinion on this movie. Let me know down in the comment section below, and let me know your thoughts. I always like to know your guys' thoughts. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. I always appreciate your support all the time. And until next time, friends, that's all, folks.